Hi everyone, this is Lisa Mizels with Famana, and you are watching the Empowered Living video show. And I'm really excited tonight because it's New Year's, it's the new year, it's 2017, and my guest is going to be talking about limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are so huge in our life. They're big, major blocks, and if you can find a way to get through your limiting beliefs, your business, your life, whatever you're doing, whatever you're focusing on will just skyrocket. So we're going to get some great tips tonight from Nancy. I'm really excited. Let me tell you about Nancy. Nancy is, she's a speaker, she's an author, she's a coach, and her journey across, her journey to access the woman warrior. She is an empowerment sensei, by the way. And I love that. And her journey to access the woman warrior within herself has been a journey full of detours and roadblocks and challenges and obstacles. And with each success, it seemed to bring more and more challenges. So that might sound familiar to a lot of you. Her message is about how she discovered the woman warrior within. And this is one of courage and determination and inner strength, and how a positive outlook can only be described as determination. When the pain of staying where she was became greater than the fear of moving forward, Nancy connected with her inner woman warrior and is now empowering women globally. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm really, really excited to have you here. And I mean, we learned a little bit about you in your bio, but what else can you tell us about your detours and obstacles and challenges that some of our listeners might really relate to, that helped you overcome your limiting beliefs?
Well, I'm really glad that you asked that question, because it's a great way to open up the interview tonight, because so many of us are going through stuff, right? Minutia, we're going through roadblocks. We just feel like we've been working so hard and it's not coming to fruition. We've taken the classes, we've read the books, we've invested into this and to that, and we're not getting what we were promised to get. And the key, the answer is it's an inside job.
Yeah.
And when I say that it's an inside job, it's got to come from within you. That's where the answers are. Inside you. And when you have someone who will help you understand what those limiting beliefs are, then you can start pulling it out and saying, oh, I can see why I was making choices because I believe that. And then you take a look at that belief and you say, okay, how can I let that go? And then that's when things start to change. Mm-hmm. So if you're not getting where you want to be, if you're struggling, if you think you've tried everything and you're at rock bottom, you want to take a look at your limiting beliefs. And the reason that I call them limiting beliefs is because beliefs are limiting. Think about it. Everything you believe to be true is based on something that someone taught you. And we don't question our beliefs. Why would we? They're our beliefs. So for me, my journey, this is when I went like this, it was really like this. And, there are so often times where we feel that we are where we are based on something that happened to us in the past. And that's not it. Everything that happened in the past happened and you created a belief around it. And because of that, you continue to make choices based on those beliefs. And so you're in this cycle. And until you're ready to really let go of that, and letting go of your beliefs is hard. And let me tell you why it's hard. Because people would rather stay where they are because that's what they know. Mm-hmm. That's what I call the known zone. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And it's really amazing that this is a New Year's show, because this is what so many people are looking for in the new year.
Yes. Absolutely. No, you hit it right on. And so many times we go through life and we get so discouraged because things happen to us and we are stuck, right? Those limiting beliefs keep us stuck. Mm-hmm. So how do you open it up so that you even are aware of what your limiting beliefs are?
Well, one of the biggest questions that you can ask yourself when something happens that you hadn't planned for, or something happens that's frustrating you or making you angry or you feel guilty, whatever that emotion is that you're feeling, if you take a step back and say to yourself, how did I create this and what am I to learn from it? That takes the anger, the judgment, the frustration out of it. And I'm not saying that you can just ask that question and everything's going to turn around, because this takes time. You know, it's creating a habit like any other habit. It's break habits and creating new habits. But when you can get to the point when you really, really ask yourself that question and you are really open to the possibility of the answer, that's when things start to change. So I'm trying to think of a really good example. Let's talk about our belief, something that's really safe. Okay, let's talk about toothpaste.
Okay.
You're growing up, and you know your family has always used a specific kind of toothpaste, and so you go up, you move out of the house, and you go shopping, and you throw this toothpaste in your cart, right? And you don't even think about it. And someone can say to you, "Why do you buy that brand of toothpaste?" And it's probably something you never even thought about, and you say, "Well, I don't know, because I like it." Really, you like it? Well, yeah, because that's what we want to do. We want to defend our beliefs. We want to defend our choices. Yes. Well, yes, this is good. And so then someone tries to say, you know, I think you should try this. It's been amazing. Someone introduced it to me and it's been really amazing, but you're not willing to just take their word for it and change. Manufacturers spend millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to get us to change our mind, right? Change our belief, switch from one product to another. And so you can see that this is huge, but you have to be hit with something 5, 6, 7, 8 times before you even start to hear it, before you even start to, you know, think about it like, oh, what was that again? Because before that, before the first 5, 6 times, it just flows off. You're like, nah, toothpaste, I already have that. And you don't even think about it. Yeah. And that's just toothpaste. Well, imagine what it's like when you're talking about your finances, your relationships, your career, your job, how you think about your boss, how you think about your coworkers, how you think about your health. Everything that you think about, everything that is involved in your life is based on your belief. And every choice you make is based on your belief. So you can see why exactly. How do I feel today? You know, because let's say you grew up in a house where, I don't know, on rainy days, mom or dad, you know, say, oh, it's raining today. It's going to be a gloomy day. And we don't realize that, but we take that in like osmosis. And so we grow up and then we have gloomy days on rainy days. Well, it's about changing your mindset. So it's about being able to just give yourself permission to say, why did I choose that? Why do I believe that? Is that absolutely true? Is it possible that there could be another explanation or another way to look at it? And when that happens, and you really start to let go of what was holding back. And I tell you, we talked about, you've been there, you take the seminars, you've read the books, you paid for the classes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everything that I have done has come to beliefs. So if someone were to ask me, what is the one thing that would change my life dramatically, I would say, take a look at your beliefs. What do you believe?
Yeah.
And here's the key point, though, is that someone can tell you that, and then you say, okay, well, I'm just going to change my beliefs. But it's almost impossible to do by yourself because you believe what you believe, so you don't know to think. You don't even know you're thinking it. It's habit. It's like breathing. Right. You don't even stop to think that you're breathing, but you are. And you're making choices based on all these habits, exactly the same.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, how does somebody, because we're constantly thinking every second, I mean, there's millions of thoughts going through our head. And unless you can be aware that, okay, I need to change my limiting beliefs. But it's when we get into those emotional cycles of despair or worry, or it's, how do you get to it before that happens? Like, how do you help people recognize before you start cycling into, oh my God,
One thing to remember is that everything you believe has an emotion attached to it. Let's go back to the toothpaste. You believe that that's the best toothpaste. Well, maybe when you brush your teeth with that, you think about, oh yeah, remember when I was a kid and we first started doing, there's an emotion attached to every single belief. And the emotion can be positive or negative. Now, that doesn't mean that it really is a positive emotion, it really is a negative emotion. It's just that something came up somewhere in your life that caused that positive or negative emotion, and then you held on to it, and you've continued to take it with you. It's like this inner child, what you learned as a child. That's when we learn all this, between the ages of birth and 8 years of age, and that's when we take this in and we take it to be a truth, and then we carry it with us into adulthood. So when you think about it, adults are making decisions based on childhood beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I was in the bathtub the other night, and I was in this worry. Like, it was just something that triggered me, and I was trying to figure out how I could change it. And I had this epiphany. It's like, worry is making up stories that you don't want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So why not make up, I call them a miracle story. Why not make up a miracle story, like a story that you want to happen, and focus on that instead? And then what that brought me to is, that brings me to a feeling of joy. So whenever I'm in that worry state, like that place where you don't want to be, I've started to bring in that feeling of joy, so that I could at least get out of that, that downward spiral. But I know that you believe that it's really, really important to know the origin of your limiting belief, and you help women with that. That's part of the empowerment part. You want to talk a little bit about that?
I do. And it's interesting, because someone said to me, Nancy, the empowerment, you're always talking about empowerment. That's not really a tangible item. It's not something tangible that people would really want to pay for. But it is. I want you to think about it. When you are empowered in your thoughts, your beliefs, in your decisions, it means that you have higher self-confidence, higher self-esteem, self-love for yourself, self-worth, and all of these selves, I call them the selves, these levels of self, they are based on the level why you do or do not make certain decisions. So when you are empowered, meaning that you feel that you have the strength, that inner strength to tap into and say, you know what, I'm just going to go for this. I'm going to try it. I'm going to step outside of my known zone. I'm going to just see what happens if I do this instead of that. That's what empowerment's all about. It's not about having power over another person. It's about having power that you just know that that's your inner strength. You're going to reach deep down in, and you're just going to say, I'm going to pull on this, because this is what's going to get me through. And every single woman has it. You do. It's how you are where you are right this minute. And if right this minute is not where you want to be, okay, it still got you to this point. And if this point is listening to this video or this audio, what are you going to take from it? What are you going to do from here? Because we all know that you don't get healthier by eating healthy food. You don't get a better body by exercising. You don't get, better by taking medicine. Why? You get better, faster, stronger, because you do these things every day. A one-off thing is not going to help you. And so it's the little things that you put into practice day in and day out. It's not like you're going to be able to listen to this and say, oh, well, Nancy said that you could just change your beliefs, and okay, I'm going to change that. No, you won't. Because when something happens that pulls on that emotion that that belief is based on, you're going to go right back to that belief if you haven't dealt with the emotion that's accompanying that as well.
Yeah. So do you have any tips about how our listeners can kind of identify a trigger and the emotion and do something with it?
I do, actually. So think about fear. And I want you to think about the acronym for fear: false evidence appearing real. So what are you afraid of? What is that thing that's gripping your insides that's saying, oh my gosh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen? That fear. take a look at that and just ask yourself, is that true? Is this really what's happening? Is this really going to come true? Because fear is, it's an instinct in us to keep us safe. So once you've ascertained that you're safe, you're physically safe, you look around and you say, okay, there's no cars coming or no one's looming in the background or anything, and you know that you're physically safe, everything else is a manifestation of the mind. So if you can create it, you can let it go.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's so true. I mean, it really works. It really does work. It's like this stuff works. It's not just hocus pocus or woo woo or whatever they call it, because I mean, it does. It just works. Yeah, I love that.
Well, and for women, you know, there's so many women who are in what I call a victim mode, meaning something happened along the lines from childhood up. And it doesn't have to be a negative. It doesn't mean that you had an awful childhood. You could have had the best childhood in the world, but there's still something that is attached to that, a memory, emotion. And so you bring it with you into adulthood. Sometimes I find clients who have challenges with their health. They're trying to get better at their eating choices. But when they were younger, they're like, no, I had a happy childhood. It was wonderful. It was fabulous. But sitting down around the table, family meals, that was like a happy time. You see, that's a happy emotion. So when you associate that happy emotion with eating, and you're doing mindless eating because you're just bringing in that emotion and that feeling, now you're wondering like, oh, this is where that belief's coming from. And it's not about will. It's not about willpower. Oh, I'm just going to say no to this. Because those beliefs, those habits, those emotions are so ingrained in us. It's like a second skin, and it's taking over every thought, and it's telling you, this is what we want you to do. This is what we want you to do. And it can be an addiction, just like any other addiction. And because as soon as you sit and you eat the food, whatever it is, you immediately feel that it's like a dopamine thing coming in. This is great. This is wonderful. And then afterward, you're like, oh, why did I do that? Then what happens? Then you beat yourself up. And then you see it's cyclical. So you have to learn to break that cycle. You have to understand, where does that belief come from? Why do I feel happy when I eat? Or let's take the negative side of it. Maybe something traumatic happened. Women who've been in abusive situations, abusive childhood. And, you know, you might think that you're worthless, that you'll never amount to anything. You know, my mother told me so many times, you're nothing, and you'll never be nothing. Don't ever think that you're going to be anything. It wasn't until I had children of my own that I started questioning this, because I said, how can I be a really good mom and be the mom that I never had if I can't do better than what I had? And I had no idea where to start. It was just the love for my daughters. And I just kept asking questions. This class, this book, this seminar, this guru, you know, I want to learn more because I want my daughters to have the best mother possible. And let me tell you, I thought that if I do everything opposite of the way my mom did, that I would be the best mother in the world. That was a belief. That wasn't true. Because I bet if you talk to my daughters, they would say, nah, she had a couple things going on that we weren't really happy with. And the bottom line is, all you do is be the best you that you can be. And every single day when we're loving ourselves, when we're doing things to be self-preserving, when we're taking care of ourselves, and that doesn't mean a manicure and a massage. It means, like, what are you really doing? If you can't look yourself in the mirror right in the eyes and say, I love you, you're amazing, you're awesome. I have so many clients that have a hard time doing that. If you can't do that, why? What is your belief? What is inside of you that makes you think you're anything but that? And that's something that you want to take a look at. So the fear, you know, both negative or positive, take a look at that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And how long does it take to break the cycle of a limiting belief?
You know, I think that depends on the person, because there are some people who they prefer the drama. They prefer the victim mode, because that has become a habit. So anything that we do that's opposite of what we've always done, it makes us uncomfortable. because it's what we've always known. And I don't call it a comfort zone because we're not comfortable in our comfort zone. I call it a known zone. This is what I've always known. So this is what I always do. This is my go-to. So it absolutely depends on the person. You know, you said when you introduced me, a part of my bio is that when the pain of being where I was got stronger than the fear of moving forward. And that is the best way that I can answer that question. When the pain of being where you are is worse than the fear of moving forward, you will make a decision to go forward.
Yeah, and that's a perfect that's a perfect example. I remember thinking that when I was like, you know, young and breaking up with a boy or something like that. You know, it was like, it's not that bad yet. I'll know when it is. You know, I'll know when that time comes. And that is what we do. We just wait until that time comes. And that's not real good for us either.
No. Yeah. And when you think about it, you know, we have so many millennials at this point who their parents weren't taught these kinds of things. And so their parents taught them their beliefs. These things are cyclical. They just keep going like, you know, rolling downhill until someone says, well, wait a minute. You know, abusive parents will become, abused children will become abusive parents unless they understand how to stand up and break the cycle. Abused women will often go on to abuse their children or continue to abuse themselves because they have that emotion, that feeling that this is what I know. Okay, so we want to step outside of what you know, and we want to have a different feeling, a different experience. That's what we want to grab a hold of.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, this is really some really good stuff, and I think it's perfect for the first show of the year because it is our life. Our thoughts are, you know, what we make them. We get to choose. But
I could talk on this subject for 4 hours. Trust me, I have.
Yeah, no, I get it, and it's like it's identifying those triggers that you're not aware of. And so having a coach, like an empowerment coach like yourself, I could see where you would see the blind spots for people because you can't see your own. Can't possibly see.
Because there are so many people who take classes or seminars or workshops or work with someone to say, oh, I want to learn how to, you know, make more money. I want to learn how to, whatever it is that they want to lose weight, to this, to that. But it all comes back to the beliefs. You can take all those classes and all those lessons and read all those books. But if you haven't figured out where the belief is coming from, you're going to slide right back there. So when someone says to me, is being empowered a tangible thing? I can absolutely say, yes, it is. Because being empowered is what's going to give you that self-confidence to take that next step, to ask for that raise or ask for that that power in your relationship or that visibility in your relationship or whatever it is that's lacking in your life. That's where the courage is going to come from that inner strength.
I can tell you love what you do.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
It's amazing. So real quickly, tell us what, because I'm really interested.
Oh, yeah. Magic? Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay. I have one question.
Yes.
Okay. Like in business, like we learn a lot of stuff as time goes on. Why do we think that we keep needing more and more and more to move forward? It's always something that we keep thinking that we need. We might have enough here, but we still keep thinking, oh, if I had this and had this and this. What is it? It has to be something that's their belief or something, or is
Maggie, it's so interesting that you asked that particular question, and I want to say anyone who saw my post today, Maggie and I just met on this interview, so she could not have segued into this, but I posted something about that just this morning.
Awesome.
And the post that I posted on social media was, never let someone else tell you that you're not enough. And that's what it is, isn't it, ladies? We're always thinking that we're not enough. We've got to have more shoes, more purses, more clothes, more whatever.
Yeah.
No, we're already enough.
Okay.
And when you realize that, that's your starting point. And then you will go from there. And it'll just keep going up.
Yeah, and I think that's why gurus are gurus, because they speak from their heart. They speak from what they know. They don't have to. I mean, but we all have to go through that part where you're craving knowledge and you're learning all this stuff and you're soaking it up. But really, it's you do have everything within you that you need. It's that validation that you're looking for when you're searching for these other things. So that's great. So you'll have to go look at the social media post.
You might have that validation and you still don't. I don't even know if that could be it, but it's still something that you keep thinking that you want. Even if you have that somebody can say, oh no, you're doing what you need to do. You have it all. Then all of a sudden you say, then you don't even believe them. Not only you're not believing yourself, you don't believe them, you don't believe.
Right. And it's not a validation if you don't believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
I can tell you, oh my gosh, you have the most beautiful glasses I've ever seen. And if you don't believe they're beautiful, nothing I say is going to make you believe that.
Yeah.
So when someone else tells you how much they admire one of your strengths, if you don't believe it yourself,
yeah,
it's getting to that belief.
Yeah.
Acknowledging it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great question, though. And I hear you have a free gift for our listeners.
Oh, I do. And I love this because what it is, it's 30 days. I call it empowerment CPR. You know, like CPR breathes life into a person. That's on their last breath. So I call this empowerment CPR. So it's breathing empowerment into you. And it's 30 days, day 1, day 2, it takes you through every single day for 30 days. If you do this, this, and this, what we're doing is we're creating habits. We're creating habits about changing your beliefs, looking at your beliefs. What are you thinking about? And so as you do each one of these, sometimes it's something to write down. Sometimes it's a little project that you do, very easy. Some of them only take minutes a day. But again, it's like I said, you don't get healthy from eating well one time. This is habits that you want to create. So I really love this free gift. I get excited when people tell me how much they love it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm great. Well, it's going to be posted. So for everybody listening, the gift and the replay will be posted in the Facebook group, in the Empowered Living Facebook group. So, so go there, and I will post also your website so people can get in touch with you. And are you on a specific social media?
Oh, I'm everywhere.
You're everywhere. Okay. Well, we'll put that everywhere in the Facebook group.
Everything is pretty much Nancy Beginnings. Okay. At Nancy Beginnings. Yeah.
Nancy Beginnings. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being my guest for the beginning of the year. This is a perfect way to open it up, and very powerful, great tips, and a great gift. So everybody go get that gift, because it sounds like what a great way to start January.
Absolutely. And let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'll help you.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you again so much.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Thank you, Nancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.